afternoon. This is David Pride, Central Indiana AFL-CIO president. Today I have Brother Juan Ruffin with the UFCW. Brother Juan, welcome. I'd like for you to give a little introduction. Tell us what UFCW stands for and who are the people that you represent.
My name is Juan Ruffin, United Food and Commercial Workers, Kroger, Safeway, Tyson, and a couple other pork, chicken lines, warehouses, dairy, some CVS workers. The local 700 is mainly in Indiana, a little bit of Illinois, a little bit of Ohio, but the UFCW is international. I'm also a 23-year butcher for Kroger and an executive board member.
My man, I appreciate you because ain't nothing like a good porterhouse. Well, man, I'm glad you on. And this is part of our town hall that we've been doing with our union members across Central Indiana, informing everyone across the country what's going on here in Central Indiana with our union members, the kind of work they do, what's been going on since the pandemic started, what's just been going on, and raise some awareness to our struggles, our needs, how we're going to push forward, what we've been doing, what we can change. So with that being said, and you mentioned in Kroger's, I can just say I know you've been on the front lines since day one. Can you give us a sense of how things started at the beginning of this and how it's going on now? Just give us a little background of what you experienced and what some of the people that you represent experience.
Well, at first it was complete chaos. Everyone was concerned and a little frightened because it was so foreign and so new to us, and there was no once everybody started understanding what was going on, then there was a surge of panic in grocery stores. And I was telling someone this right after it happened. I have never ever seen anything like that before at a grocery store, and having done this for almost 30 years, because I started with another grocer in 1990. I have been overwhelmed and as tired as I've ever been in my life. And it was because at the beginning when everybody was getting quarantined and everybody was getting laid off and furloughed, the only things that were open were grocery stores. So that was the only place that people could get out to. So people were coming to the grocery store every day, which, is for me. I'm there every day, so I see these same folks every day just in the grocery store because there's nothing else to do. And it got to a point because we do packing houses like Tyson for chicken and pork and Smithfield for pork. Once someone in the warehouse or in a packing house got infected, then they had to shut down those packing houses, which made us short on meat. And then at our warehouse, people were getting sick and they were shutting down. and then we would run out of groceries. So you would come in the grocery store 2 or 3 weeks after the pandemic started, and you wouldn't find toilet paper, paper towels. We'd be out of chicken, ground beef, and not only was it frustrating for customers, but it was frustrating for us because we order it. We don't prepare any of that stuff. It comes to us packaged, and we put it out. So they're frustrated with us, like we're producing this stuff, and there's nothing we can do about it. And I told a friend of mine that I have worked 2 jobs in my life on 2 occasions, and I have never been as tired physically in my life. And now that it's kind of some other things are starting to open up, we're not seeing the same customers every day, but there's still people that come to the grocery store every day. And it's a little overwhelming because we just started a couple weeks ago being required to wear masks, but they just started when the mayor made it mandatory to wear masks. Our customers would come. We had 60 to 80% of our customers that shopped every day weren't wearing masks.
Mm. So do Kroger's now that it's been implemented here in Marion County, do the stores like Kroger's and other stores, do they tell the customers that they have to wear masks to enter the store? Or is it still?
No, because at my store, we were passing out masks to customers that didn't have them. But
Okay.
I was at another Kroger, and they weren't requiring customers to come in with masks or providing masks for them.
Okay, how does the workers feel about that? Putting them in that kind of situation where they're required to wear them, but the customers not. Do they still feel like, it's a safety issue, or are they more like, I'm covered, so I feel a little safer? I have noticed that they're put the barriers up and some other things to kind of help folks. But what's the overall morale of the people that you represent?
Well, when it was required, it's been about 3 weeks, maybe a month, that they made it a part of our uniform, so it's required for us to wear a mask. But like I told another interview that I did a couple weeks ago, I felt like it was a PR stunt because they were forcing us to wear them, but they weren't requiring customers to come in. And like I said, we have customers that come in the store every day without masks on. And we were getting frustrated because we were getting what was called hero pay. We were getting our hazard pay. And the hazard pay, once the hazard pay stopped at the end of June, then they came back with, okay, these masks are required. So if it's required, then that means it's still hazardous, but you took away hazard pay, which didn't make any sense, which further let me know that it was a PR stunt, more about how it looks than it was about safety. And I had a conversation with my store manager because I'm a meat cutter, so I lift 75, 100-pound, 125-pound boxes of meat every day. And I told him, I said I was having a hard time wearing my mask because when you're working in 20-degree to 0-degree, in my cutting room or in my freezer, and you're lifting weight like that, it's hard to breathe in the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me that maybe I need to take it easy just so I can wear the mask. I said, but that's my job. My job is a meat. I have to get meat. And he was like, no, take it easy. I said, so you'd rather me be seen in this mask than to do my job?
Well, what I don't understand, and maybe, what we'll do is see if we could get, someone from Kroger's to come on, or someone who's over that. Maybe they can explain, because like you said, for so long, the only thing was open was the grocery stores. So Surely it's not from a financial standpoint that you can't provide your workers with the hazard pay. Uh, if you're going to require them to wear a mask, then surely you're saying it's still hazardous
Still
to be in
hazardous.
that environment.
Exactly. That's all we were saying, and I don't mind wearing the mask when I'm out on the sales floor or when I'm behind the service counter because customers feel comfortable. They feel safe. If they got on the mask and they come up to the counter and I got on the mask, then they feel safe. I don't have a problem with that. But if I'm wearing a mask because you require me to wear a mask and you saying it's still hazardous out here, it's still dangerous out here, but you don't give me the pay that you were giving me for hazard, for being in a dangerous situation. I'm on the front lines. Like, I have worked more hours in the last 4 months. Like, it's almost ridiculous because there aren't a lot of cutters left. There aren't a lot of people that can cut meat like I cut meat. So as long as we're still getting meat, your T-bones and porterhouses, they have to be cut.
Don't stop. Don't stop. I need you. I need you, brother. I need you to train up a whole new generation that cut them just like you do. So,
but they're not willing to because it's hard work, and they're just not willing to take the time to learn how to do it. Plus, Kroger's when we first talked about quarterly sales, Kroger's was up at least 30% over last year, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like, Kroger runs at 3 to 7% easy over last year's sales, but to be at 30 because we're the only thing open. We're the only place open. So they made the money to pay us hazard pay. We don't understand why that stopped. Our executives, they got these great big 7-figure bonuses and all these stock options, and then they cut off our hazard pay.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it, and I'm glad it's going to get out. I'm glad the word can get out here in Central Indiana. We reach out and we deal with the city, county council, of course, and the mayor's office, but we also have no problem reaching out to our state representative along with, our federal representative on both sides of the aisle. We don't care. What I tell people all the time is health concerns have no political affiliation.
Absolutely.
And doing what's right shouldn't have any political affiliation. If you're going to say that this person is on the front lines of something dangerous, something that could potentially cost them their life, and we're going to pay them hazard pay and provide all the PPE to make them as safe as we can so we can continue to do the business that we can. Because in the long run, if your workers get sick, you won't have a business.
Exactly.
And it's not so much as trying to expose or down talk or any of that. Just make it make sense. How can you turn 30% profit and then have a problem continuing at least until we come out of a pandemic? Hazard pay for your workers that you say you need, you trust to provide the quality and customer service and everything else that y'all do on a daily basis. I remember going in the store, and seeing you, and I remember coming in the store and looking and not seeing product on the shelf. So one thing I know about, if there's no product on the shelf, everything was sold. So you're turning a profit. Not only with that, everything else that was put in place for business as far as recouping for PPE and things like that. So where's the money at? You know, the federal government did help. The state did help. The local government. Everybody's trying to help everybody except for the people that seem to be at home making the decisions on their laptop.
Yeah.
So I think it's because of that, in a sense, because you don't have to deal with it on the front line. It doesn't mean as much to you.
That's right.
But when you tell your workers you're in an unsafe environment, you need this, we're paying you hazard pay up until then. Now, we're not going to pay you after that. Something's a little wrong with that. But I'm glad you brought that to the attention of the people here in Central Indiana. I hope that they watch the video. Of course, we'll be getting it out to anybody else. Juan, of course, y'all were on the front line. Was there anything else that you could think of that could have been done at the beginning, or what you would like to see going forth right now?
My whole thing with that was I said at the beginning, if you want to end a pandemic, shut down everything. Shut it down. You ain't got to shut it down for a month. You didn't have to shut it down for 2 weeks. We could have ended this in 1 week. Shut everything down. It's just like anything. You have to let things replenish. You have to let things heal. And if you stop, how does COVID spread? Person to person. If you end person to person contact, especially at places where there's more than few people, like a grocery store, you could end the pandemic because there's no person to person contact. If I come in contact, and I said this in the beginning, if I have COVID and I contact 200 people every day, because like I said, we had customers coming in the store every day. So they were contacting the same 75, 100, 200 people every day. And they're taking that back to other people every day. Shut it down, let people heal. They put you on a 2-week quarantine when you test positive, right? So let's assume that everybody has it and put everybody on quarantine for 2 weeks. Will it go away? Probably. If it don't go all the way away, at least it will be contained to a few people. But if you got the grocery, if everybody has to eat, and the only place that's open is the grocery store, and all of those people get contacted, hey, sometimes you got to do it because it's the right thing to do. Everybody can go a week without going to the grocery store.
Get a week of groceries.
Get a week of groceries. You get a week of groceries. If you don't go, because I understand there are elderly that like to shop. I have some that shop every day because they get dinner for every day. I understand that. But it's the right thing to do if you want to get rid of COVID. You gotta do it because it's the right thing to do. How we gonna solve it if we start reopening, and as you can see, the cases are surging again because we're opening back up. It never left. It never got a chance to heal. People didn't get a chance to heal before they started going back out again, and especially those that were carriers and didn't get sick from it. Because if you didn't get sick and you was a carrier, you wasn't going to get tested because you weren't sick. But you still contacting 10, 15, 50, 75 people because you're going to the grocery store, you're going to these other places that are open, you're going to restaurants. If you don't shut it down, it's not going to go away. It's not. And then when flu season hits in late September, October, November, then what?
Well, we're going to see, brother. Because we're going, you know.
We got an election coming up.
Yeah, that's a whole.
Everybody's not going to vote by mail. They're going to go to the polls. All of that contact, they're going to be standing in those long lines because this is a very important. It's a presidential election this year, so they're gonna be coming out supporting their candidate, and they're gonna be talking, and some of them gonna be maskless, and we're gonna be in the same spot we was when we hit it first. You gotta do something, and you gotta do it because it's the right thing to do.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate having you on. Once again, David Bride with the Central Indiana AFL-CIO, and here with Brother Juan. Brother Juan, on your closing, is there anything else you got good for the cause before we get up out of here?
Make sure that when you go to the polls or vote by mail in November, that you vote with your conscience. You
I can tell you a union leader. That's how we do it, huh? Say we're supposed to be neutral. So what you tell us? Say vote your conscience.
Vote your conscience. Your conscience ain't never wrong. Your conscience ain't never wrong, man. Whether you like it or not, it's never wrong.
I love it, my brother. Hey, man, good to have you on.
Hey, I appreciate it, Dave.
Keep fighting for them workers, man. Keep them safe.
Yes. Yes, sir.
We do have people with PPE and stuff here in Indianapolis, like you already know. So hand sanitizers, masks, and stuff like that. Get it out to your membership, to your other international. Let's keep everybody safe. And it's glad to have you on, brother. And hope to see you real soon. And like you said, vote your conscience. And my final word, vote.
Vote. Yeah. I agree.
All right, my brother. Have a good day. Be safe. Keep the fight going. And we'll talk to you next time.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate it.